Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. For today's review, we're going to take a look at the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Son Gohan. This one came out a few weeks ago, but I've been quite busy, so I haven't had a chance to get to it. But here we go. So, front of the packaging, very nice window in the front. You got the figure inside and a photo of the figure there. I really like the pink backdrop that they put in the backing card. It really makes the figure pop from the packaging, so that's really nice. And they've run that color throughout the packaging as well, so there's like a theme going on. And on the back you've got figure, accessories, gimmick, super action, and on this side you've got the window wrapping around to the side, and on the top you've got the window wrapping around to the top as well, and on the bottom Gohan and that pink color again. And let's just get this guy open. So pretty standard SH Figuarts packaging. So you got that nice vibrant backing card, and here you have the figure. So you can see it comes with 3 optional faces, and there's an optional head there with a different hairstyle, and I think these two expressions might be very similar or the same. And you've got the optional hands down here. So let's get this open and have a look at the accessories in more detail. And here are the accessories. So the optional head with the different hairstyle. So the expression is very similar. So I've had a closer look at it, and it looks like this one is looking straight forward, whereas this one is kind of glancing off to the side. So they are different, in fact. And he also comes with a mouth open screaming face. Very nicely done. And a teeth gritting, determined looking face. And a kind of eyes closed shouting face, which is quite nice. And he comes with a pair of relaxed open palm hands, these kung fu grip hands, and also a pair of the blasting firing hands for firing those energy blasts. And of course he's got the closed fists on the figure. And with the accessories, it's pretty easy to change the head, pop the head off, and pop the other one on. And to be honest, I prefer this one much more. This makes him look really young, so I'll be keeping this one on for the duration of the review. But just show you how to swap the face. Face comes out like this, and then you can put the other face on like so. And pretty straightforward with the hands as well, just on ball pegs. That. And here's a look at the new Gohan compared to the old version, and also the SDCC version, which is based off the old mold. Straight away I can see that there's been a lot of quality improvements with the new one. You can see the figure is much more matte, so it looks much more quality. The coloration's also much nicer. If you look at the old one, you can see that they're quite glossy, whereas this one is very nice and matte. In terms of sculpt, this one has the ripped shirt, which looks really good, and the hair is also matte, whereas the SDCC one's a little bit glossy, and the old version is kind of greenish. It's a little bit greenish on the inside, but this is by far the best looking hair out of the 3, I think. And for those that want to know, I don't think the head will fit, or they're not cross compatible. I mean, you can sit the new head on the old body, but I think the peg is probably a different size. Okay, so the ball peg on the new version is slightly larger than the old version. So you can put the new head on the old body, but it sits kind of loose, but you can't put the old head on the new body. And the other thing you might want to know is whether or not the cape would fit. And unfortunately it's a very tight fit because the new Gohan has wider shoulders than the old one. Okay, so with the articulation, Gohan can look up that much, down that much, tilt his head from side to side, and obviously rotate all the way around. He's got a neck joint there, so he can kind of do these ones. With his shoulders, he can lift them up that high, rotate all the way around, and there's sort of like a butterfly joint in there, so he can move his shoulder forward and backwards like that, and up and down. He's got bicep swivel, very nicely hidden there, double jointed elbows, which gives him much more than 90 degrees, which is really good. Pin and hinge for the wrist, so all the way around and then in and out. And then coming down to his diaphragm, he does have a joint there, but it's a little bit tight because of the sculpting, so he can do that much of a crunch forward and that much of a backward stretch, so that's not bad. And then he's got side to side. Does he have side to side? Yep, he's got a little bit of side to side, this much to the left and this much to the right. And he's got waist articulation, obviously, rotates there. And with his legs, he can kick up that high and back all the way, and he can do that much of a split, so not a perfect split. And he's got thigh swivel hidden in the pants, which I think look quite thick, but anyway. And then he's got double jointed knees, but on this side it doesn't like to bend very much because the sculpting actually gets in the way. I don't know if you can see that, but it starts interfering from about here, whereas this side you can get it to bend all the way up. So I'm not sure if I got a dud with my one, or somehow they missed it and they've just done a really weird job of designing the knee joint for this side. You can get it to bend all the way, but you're really pushing the plastic into each other, so it's not great. And coming down to the ankles, it's basically on a ball joint, so it can obviously rotate and tilt down that far, up that much, which is not that great. And it does have ankle rockers, but I'll show you the problem. On this side, you can't get it to bend in very much. You can bend out, but it won't bend in. This side is a little bit better. You can go out that far and in that much. And it does also have toe joint. But back to the ankle pivot, if you're doing a really wide pose, there's no way he can keep his feet flat on the ground with this current design. So with the old one, you can see that even with this much of a stance, the feet are still flat on the ground, pretty much. Whereas the new one, it's already having trouble here. I can't even get his feet to stay flat. This is probably as wide as I can get his legs to go and have the feet sort of remain flat on the ground. So measuring to the top of his hair, he comes in at just under 13.5 centimeters, which is about 5.3 inches. And now for some size comparisons. First up is the old version of SH Figuarts Gohan. Here he is with SH Figuarts Ultimate Gohan. And here he is with SH Figuarts Awakening Goku. Here he is with DC Icons Rebirth Superman. And here he is with Marvel Legends Cyclops. Unfortunately, this guy is a little bit of a hit and miss for me. I'm gonna go through the things that I do like about him and the things I don't like, and then you can make up your own mind. Firstly, I think the color looks really good. I like that the figure is finished in a matte finish as opposed to the glossy finish we got with the old version. I do like his head sculpt. It looks very nice, and the facial expression compared to the old one looks miles better. As you can see here, I do like the design of this ripped shirt. I think this is from the Cell Saga, and yeah, it looks really good. Lots of nice little detail happening there. And I also like the hip joint where it rotates at the butt instead of down here. So that's good. So those are the things that I really like about this guy. And here are the things that I don't like. I think his thighs are a little bit too thick, and they really do interfere with the articulation if you roll the legs in too much. It starts rubbing in against here. The knee joint here interferes with the sculpting, which is really weird. For a company that does really nicely engineered toys, this is like a really fundamental problem that they should have fixed in the development phase. Not to mention the really crappy ankle pivot articulation on this figure. I mean, I could only get mine to basically stand upright in order for his feet to be flat on the ground. So overall, if you have your Gohan pretty much displayed in a standing upright position, this guy looks great, and he will stand there very nicely in that position for you. But if you like to pose your figure, if you like to put him in dynamic poses, I still kind of prefer the old version for that. Sure, it doesn't look nearly as good. His face is really pale. He's got these weird lines under his eyes. But if you can get your hands on the SDCC one, I think this guy is still kind of my go-to Gohan. And that concludes my review of the SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Gohan. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time for another toy review.